and Best Bets live stream. My name is Rob Dauster. That gentleman you see next to me wearing the Nationals hat today is the one and only Jeff.
Actually, Rob, we're gonna have a little bit of a switch, little bait and switch here.
All
right, you ready? Are you ready?
I don't know. Am I ready?
This is in honor of the juvenile ejection the other night from Chris Beard.
Oh man,
there we go.
Oh man, what a legend Chris Beard.
It was legendary. It really was. I mean, it was, yeah. Like that's got to be on like the season highlights. When we do, you're going to do this at the end of the year. You're going to do like a season highlight reel, and you have to have that Chris Beard ejection.
Oh yeah, we will. Right? We'll have it in there. It doesn't really get better.
By the way, Kimmy English is on you. He's on you, the assistant right now at Tennessee, to put together a kind of like season highlight for the Field of 68. And you're blowing him off.
I'm like, oh man,
like Kimmy doesn't matter.
Well, here's the thing. It's like I want to do it. I literally don't have time for doing what I'm already doing right now. You know, Kimmy, what? There's always so many hours. And you know what? Here's the thing. Kimmy's got 2 kids too. He understands what it's like for me.
He should understand it. Evidently, he doesn't.
But he's on me. He's on me. Yeah, it's motivating because I'm like, oh man, I let Kimmy down again. Brian, you're right. Oregon money line, baby.
Hey, who
hit that?
Who was it? No. Who was it who gave us Montana yesterday? Thank you. Who was that?
Was that John Mitchell? I think that was John Mitchell.
I don't know. Come clean because that was big time. That was a big time maneuver. Love you for that one. When is Bobby Hurley getting fired? He won't get fired. We got to remember how shitty Arizona State's program has been.
Yeah, you also got to remember that Goodman tried to get Bobby Hurley to be the head coach at Duke and the head coach at UCLA and head coach of the Phoenix Suns and the head coach of the New York Knicks and head coach of Team USA. Like, who did you not try to get Bobby Hurley hired by?
Listen, he's compiled talent out there in Tempe. It's like the one thing I'm going to learn from you this year.
I can't believe I said that. Like, that's just man,
awful.
All right, so let's talk about last night's games.
Okay, we can do that.
Purdue breaking my heart. Marcus Carr banking in a 3. God,
forget about that. Wait. Forget about that. You and I, we know how much respect we have for Matt Painter and how much the coaching community has for Matt Painter. What the F was that baseball pass from Sasha with 8 seconds left, 7 seconds left? You're down 3. You have plenty of time to get the ball inbound. Like Tyus Edney did it in 4.8 seconds. I think Sasha could have gotten the ball back and gotten all the way down court and shot a 3 in 8 point whatever it was seconds.
I have a theory on it. I think what he was trying to do was avoid.
Did Calipari tell him what play to run at the end of that game?
I think what he was trying to do was avoid being fouled. He didn't want to be fouled up 3 or fouled down 3, and so he wanted to throw it to Trevion Williams to try to get a quick 2 to put more pressure on him. Yeah, like that's the only answer. You know, it's not what I would do in that situation.
No kidding. You got to throw a baseball past 70 feet. Catch it. It's hard enough.
Look, I'm not saying it's smart, but what I'm saying is that the reason he was doing it was either A, to avoid being fouled up 3, or B, to catch it, get a quick 2, and so there's still like 5 seconds left on the clock. Otherwise, if you go the length of the floor and go try and get a layup right then, like you're going to have 2 seconds left and you're going to be throwing a half court Hail Mary heave. So you throw
a half court than a 3/4 court baseball pass to have to catch it and then be able to give it to somebody, because if you're throwing it to Trevion Williams, he's not shooting the 3. Then you got to be able to catch it and you kick
someone on the wing, you catch it and you have him go right to the basket and draw a foul. Like I get the process. It's not the.
Did Hummel draw that up? Maybe Hummel gave him that play. Do we know that
Hummel was in shock on the broadcast? Hummel was.
Of course he was.
We need to ask him about it because he came. I don't think he actually was like, "Hey, Paint, that was a really dumb thing you just did." And you could tell that he really wanted to say it. He wasn't about to say it live on TV.
Like, Coach, What
you got to ask him about that. Your next pod, you got to put him on the spot. You got to get.
I am. Oh, 100%.
You have to.
All right. Bring Painter in for like 2 minutes and like Payne. What were you thinking?
So here's the thing. The final score there. The line when we first started talking about it yesterday.
2.5. 2.5, Rob.
Well, no, that's what it closed at. When we made the bet yesterday.
I got the bet in it too.
It was 3.5 when I logged on, right? When I went to go finally put my bet in after the show, it was +3, and the money line was +130. So I bet the money line. I would have taken probably the +3 or +3.5. So it's a good thing that we didn't make that gentleman's bet, because we would be sitting here fighting right now over who would have actually won that bet.
I got it at 2.
It would have been ugly.
I've gotten smarter.
If I bet it at 3.5 and you bet it at 2 and we both won that bet,
that's kind of crazy.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Doesn't get much better.
I've learned now a little bit, and it's hard because we got a lot of crap going on at night. We're watching games or whatever, so I'm not even really thinking of the next day's games until the next morning. Right? I wake up at usually 7 a.m. and do all my stuff and look at the games in the morning before we start. It's hard enough to do it at 9 a.m. because you don't have as much injury info as you do later on in the day. But now I've gotten smart, and I at least take a peek the night before and will grab something if it's absolutely glaring to me, like Minnesota when it was only 2. I knew that line would go up the next morning. So I'm trying to grab a couple. Like I did it last night. I did everything last night for the first time probably all season.
Did you? So I went through and I found a bet that I actually like. Right, like I was saying, I don't love anything, but I was ignoring the obvious one, and we can get into that. Is there anything else from last night you want to talk about? Like, I want to mention Colorado. Colorado.
Listen, that's a big win for Colorado.
They're rolling.
It's a big win. They're the best team in the Pac-12, and I don't even think it's close. And you know why? I mean, it's not hard to figure why. They've got one of the better point guards in the country, and he's a senior, and he's been around forever in McKinley Wright. And they've got other talent on their team. But that's ultimately the key. What I always say, like, look for a team in the NCAA tournament that's got a really good point guard, and you have a chance to go to the second weekend. McKinley Wright is that guy for Colorado, and Tad Boyle's a good coach. So I think Colorado is a sneaky team in the NCAA tournament because they've got some veterans, a veteran point guard, they got some young talented guys, and they got a good coach.
Yeah, and they can shoot it. They got shooters around McKinley Wright. And
I think I can attribute this to News Slander, which is my new nickname for Matt Norlander. I think he put in his column. I can't believe I got to the bottom of it because it was so boring at the top. News Slander, puts 800 words on Cam Krautwig when he could have done it in 400. That's his problem. I love him. I love the slander. But anyway, at the bottom of it, he had some stat which I thought was really good. I think Colorado's on pace to like have the best free throw percentage in years, and maybe, I don't know, forever. I don't know. You got to look at the bottom of
well, they're shooting 83% from the free throw line.
It's amazing. I mean, seriously, that number is insane, Rob. Like insane.
Yeah.
Think of that.
Yeah.
80 from the line. Most teams' best shooter doesn't shoot 83 from the line in a lot of years. That's their average. That's crazy.
But yeah, no, I'm with you long term on Colorado.
Are you with me on News Slander too?
I think you're a little harsh. I think you were a little bit too critical. He's very. I
love you. I love you, Slander. Don't worry.
He's flowing with the words. Now he's breaking news too. Like
I know.
Big time, man. Now he's on CBS Sports HQ.
Yeah.
My biggest criticism with Norlander is like now that he's like this big TV star, he shaved off the beard.
Oh, he shaved the beard?
Like he did. Yeah, last time I saw him, like he didn't have like it was clean shaven. Like don't stray from your roots just because now you're big time, right?
You need the beard.
Throw the beard back.
Grandpa's jacket. Don't tell me
he doesn't wear the jacket anymore. Like he kind of went big time on us. Like that's my only criticism of Norlander is like now he big timed us and it is all right. So
his persona's changed.
Yeah. So Colorado, yes, I love them. Huge win for them last night. Stanford. I had this conversation with Deshaun last night, and someone asked on the stream, so why is Stanford so disappointing, and why has Zaire Williams been so disappointing? And I was like, look, Yeah, I was like, no team in the country has had it worse
Right.
in terms of like not being able to go home than Stanford. Like those kids are hurting.
Yeah,
it's not easy. Like I had one person.
Also, wait. Even beyond that, Rob, if you go way back, they're practicing. Like they're shooting baskets on their concourse. They had to bring in a hoop into the concourse, and they're shooting hoops. Then when they went outside, they weren't even able to do stuff there because of the firefighters. And then when they were
firefighters, you mean the wildfires?
Sorry, the fires.
The firefighters.
The wildfires.
Yeah,
firefighters. I'm a moron. Anyway, and then even. They're practicing out on their like on the outdoor courts. They couldn't even practice indoors. So like Cal, there's a reason Cal is really bad in the Pac-12. They shouldn't be this bad. And there's a reason why Stanford isn't as good as they should be. And then you got Zaire Williams, who's left the last couple of weeks. A lot of people didn't think he would even come back and play. So I'm glad he is back with Stanford and playing again. But yeah, he's had a rough year too.
I mean, he was there. They're going through it, like,
yeah.
You can't tell me that part of the reason Zaire left for the time that he left was because he was like, this is hard. This is not what I signed up for.
Are the worst.
Yeah, it's not what I firefighters are the worst. Yeah. This is not what I signed up for. What's up, Adam? I completely lost my train of thought. All right. Anyway, other team in the Pac-12 that I'm all over now is Oregon. They're starting to get healthy. Chris Duarte is back and making shots. Will Richardson is back and making shots.
Win. It's a huge win over Bobby Hurley.
Well, no, it's just it was nice to see them in a spot where they should go out and kick someone's ass, to have them go out and kick someone's ass, basically. And that's what good teams should do.
They're dangerous. They're like, as a value team, is there a better value to me than Dana Altman and this Oregon team now that they have Will Richardson back? Again, if they had N'Faly Dante, I'd be like, holy shit, this team could be a Final Four team. No?
I just don't love his fit in terms of the way that
you can use him in the NCAA tournament. He will fill a need for you.
I guess, but it's better to me. It's better to have the mismatch of like playing small with Eugene Amor, whatever, however you pronounce the last name, and Eric Williams. Like, because remember, like I always go back to this, right? In 2017, Oregon was good when they played Chris. What's his name? Boucher. Chris Boucher at the 5, right? They were good because he was a guy that could block some shots and he can make some threes.
They have 2 shot blockers that year.
Hold on, let me get there. I'm getting there. I promise. So Chris Boucher, like 2017, they were good with him at the 5 because he could block shots, he could space the floor at the other end of the floor. But it wasn't until he tore his ACL and it forced Jordan Bell to play 35 minutes a game that they went from being like a good team to being like, they're a Final Four team. Like they can make a run. Like they are really, really good. And that's because all of a sudden you were switchable. You had this athletic playmaker. You can match up with everyone. And I kind of see that a little bit with this year's team as well. Like I tend to like teams more that go with that kind of like, we're just going to play 5 guys that are 6'6" and athletic and switch everything and make threes and be impossible for you to guard. So that's
got a lot of that. They got a lot of those dudes. LJ Figueroa, Duarte, Will Richardson.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, Chris Duarte, I think, is going to be the guy where I'm like, in this year's draft, where I'm like, you're out of your mind if you let him get past like the 40th pick. I think he's my guy this year.
And the dumbest thing, we talked about this a little bit, is the NBA guys are like, he's old. He's too old. It's like, you're only going to get him for like top.
Well, here's the thing. I get it because at the end of the day, like the draft is basically like you're buying lottery tickets more or less, right? Like you're the reason
not late in the first round, not late.
No, yeah, I get you, which is why like someone. So I told you this the other day, like. He's the only guy in Basketball References database going back to 1992 that is averaging, I think it's 18 points, 4.5 boards, 2.0 blocks, 2.0 steals. No, I'm sorry, 2.0 assists, 2.0 steals, 1.0 blocks, and shooting 45% from 3. Like he's having an unbelievable season. And if he was 19 and doing that, he'd be a top 10 pick. But he's 20. He's going to be 24 on the night of the draft. Yeah. So he's a top 40 pick at best. But you draft him now, like he can step in and do a job as a 3-and-D player. So I think he's a guy that you want to get in the early second round to help your team, help you.
Also, if you're looking at coached Dana Altman coached players, look no further than what Peyton Pritchard has done so far with the Boston Celtics. He has been not good, Rob, not good. Phenomenal. He had like 20 last night, 5 for 7 or 5 for 8 from 3. He's been awesome. So
Dylan Brooks ended up having a decent NBA career that no one really expected.
Good.
I believe he went undrafted. I might be making that up, but
I think he got drafted. I think he went second round. But Dylan Brooks was a guy who came into college. I remember seeing him sitting with Archie Miller. They were on him early. And I'm watching him, and I'm like, I love this kid at the Peach Jam. You know, just that undersized dude that, you know what? Like you said, they're tough matchups. That's what Dylan Brooks is. I like this Oregon team. I would be like, if I'm ranking them just based like your rankings, which basically the Dauster rankings are nothing that happened before last night matters. I haven't put out
rankings since,
but those are your rankings.
No, that's not true. But continue your thought.
The way you did your rankings are just last night. That's all that matters. I would have Oregon in my top. Would you put them right now? If you were doing like a pool, drafting teams based on how they're going to do in the NCAA tournament, would you take 12 teams?
I'll put it like this. I think that Oregon is one of the top 20 teams in America.
Would you take 12 ahead of them, do you think?
Probably, but it's also like I think they're in that same mix where once you get outside the top 2, and
Wisconsin or Oregon.
Oh, that's pick a different team than Wisconsin. Like, like I might take Washington State over Wisconsin.
You hate Wisconsin.
Speaking of which, can you please? I need you to publicly apologize to Kyle Smith. I need you to publicly apologize to Washington State. I need you to publicly apologize to Isaac Bonton. I need you to publicly apologize to the homie Effie Abogidi. I need you to just admit,
you're
totally wrong about my Wazoo Cougars.
I was wrong, man. They're for real. They just beat UCLA. They are getting better. Kyle Smith has always done a good job, right? I mean, the Ivy League to the WCC, now in the Pac-12, the guy can coach, and his style is so different that I think that gives him a major advantage when he goes into a league. And again, it takes a while for teams to scout his system, the way he plays. But I think ultimately, again, does this say more about UCLA than it does about Washington State, Rob? And the fact that, like, UCLA is okay. They're like really a fringe tournament team is what UCLA is. I know I've had them kind of in the back end of the top 25 at times, but
I mean, they're hurt. Like they first of all, they lost Chris Smith. Second of all, they played a while without Cody Riley and Jalen Hill. And if you don't have Cody Riley and Jalen Hill, like, one, you lose your offensive weapon in the post, and 2, you lose your score. Like, they're just banged up.
Yeah.
Like if you lose like 3 starters, any team is gonna get worse. So all right, let's talk about tonight's slate, because there's one game that I love, and I want to see if it's the first one you mentioned, because it
better be. No, there's only one game we can start with. There's only one game.
You go first.
No, like, if you can't get this, you suck.
No, you say it, because I know what it is. I just put in the bet on it.
It's Rick Pitino against Steve Masiello. Like, there's no other game you can start with, Rob Dauster, than Iona, Manhattan. Period.
Well, there is. There's another one. There's another one you can start with.
No.
Because Canisius has not played a game in 40 days.
Okay. Well, Iona hasn't played a game since December 23rd. And we've got Rick Pitino against his protege, Steve Masiello. Okay,
so I don't think people explain why that coaching matchup is fun.
Well, because Masiello was a ball boy for Pitino with the Knicks. Then he was a walk-on for Pitino at Kentucky. Then he was an assistant for Rick Pitino at Louisville. Then he became the head coach at Manhattan. And they're like on okay terms, but they're not like boys like they used to be. So, like, this one is going to be a little personal. Plus, you've got that Rick Pitino and Iona haven't played since December 23rd, Rob. I get Canisius is on a longer pause. I get it. I've taken that one. I already taken the PIAC, and you make fun of me for calling him the PIAC. But
no one calls him the PIAC.
I call him the PIAC, okay? I call him the PIAC. But to me, this Manhattan-Iona matchup is elite level. Like, I will be watching this game tonight. I will be watching. I mean, it's too bad there's no real handshakes anymore. But I expect – listen, here's the prop bet on this. Here's the best prop bet on this. You ready, Rob?
I'm
the
ready.
over-under on the amount of technicals for Steve Masiello. I'll set it at a half. Okay, I'll take your money right now. I'll take your bet right now. I'll take anybody's bet on a half Steve Masiello technicals. What are you doing?
I'll take the over on it.
Take the over? All right, done.
Yeah,
Done.
Why not?
No, listen.
Life's too short to bet the under, Goodman.
Look at everybody's going with the over. We got somebody taking the over also in the chat there. All right. So no, but listen, the bottom line is you're taking Manhattan on this one, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the bet I just put in was Manhattan +5.
Yep.
I bet on the Manhattan money line as well. And I have Quinnipiac, and I think that's all I'm going to take. I don't like any of the high major games.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't love them either.
At them, and it's like Temple, Cincinnati, gross. VCU, St. Bonnie's, gross.
Yeah.
Clemson, like I have no feel on Clemson. I think I've gotten every bet on Clemson wrong this season.
That'll be an interesting game, though. Like, actually, I think that game is pretty important, isn't it, for Georgia Tech?
I mean, they got to get it if they're going to win. If they're going to make the tournament, they
right. Like this is a big one for the shield, the face shield.
Yeah, for the Fighting Shields. Yep,
for all the shields. I mean, really, for the shields across America, this is a huge game.
Shields across America.
I got 5.5 for Manhattan, by the way, last night. I got 5.5. I got 4.5 for Canisius. What'd you get?
4.5. Yeah,
4.5 still.
Yeah, that's over at our friends at Bet Rivers. That's where we're getting those lines from.
The other two I kind of like, and I'm kind of like you. I don't love anything tonight. So I'm just going against the pauses. And Albany has been off since January 24th, Rob. So I'm taking UMass Lowell there. They're getting 3 points at Albany. So I really like that one. And then the last one is UTSA. Florida Atlantic's been in a pause since the 23rd. And UTSA is giving 4.5 against FAU at home. And FAU last year, Dusty does a good job, but they've been off for a while. So those are really the four that I like. And then the other one, do you know what happened with Murray State last night?
What happened?
I don't think they didn't play. So I don't know if they're going to play again tonight, if they're playing tonight or not.
If they didn't play last night because of COVID stuff, they're not going to play tonight because of the COVID stuff.
Yeah, I just didn't have a chance to find out what happened with that one, to be honest. So we'll find out. But yeah, I'm with you. Those are kind of the four I like on a Friday night. And I may add some stuff later on BetSports.
Yeah, make sure you follow us on BetSports. That's where we put it in. So the last 2 days, we got Wake Forest. We put that in at about 4:00. That ended up hitting. Money line, I put that in at about 7:00 yesterday, and that ended up hitting. So when it's useful to follow us on BetSports because that's where we get late info that we can't break.
Our best bet
that we put in.
Right. Our best bet usually comes in the mid-afternoon. It usually does.
Real quick, let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with Bet Rivers yet, now's the time. Bet Rivers Sportsbook is offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit, but what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. When you win at Bet Rivers Sportsbook, they pay fast, and now it's even faster with Rush Pay instant approval for withdrawals. It's safe, it's secure, it's reliable. I know, I can confirm that. I use them. With March Madness right around the corner, there's never been a better time to give Bet Rivers Sportsbook a try. Go to betrivers.com today or download the Bet Rivers iOS app. You must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Jeffrey, we have a couple people in the chat.
Yep.
Cleveland State and Southern Miss. You got any feel on them?
Yeah, I thought about Cleveland State, to be honest, given 3.5 against Detroit at home. I almost went there. Southern Miss has North Texas at home. They're getting 8.5. I like North Texas's team. That's the only thing I'd say is Hamlet's a really good player. So I don't love that one either way, to be honest. But I almost went Cleveland State. Like I kind of like that one.
Who are they? They have Detroit. Is Detroit coming off a pause? Is that what it is?
No, I don't think they're coming off a pause. But Cleveland State's been great this year. They've been really,
they really have 14-5.
Dennis Gates has done a hell of a job this. I mean, really rebuilding that quickly. I mean, he's done a hell of a job. Former Leonard Hamilton assistant at Florida State. He has built that thing quickly. So, yeah, Brian, I like Cleveland State there. Again, I just stuck with today, kind of going against those. Sometimes I just get carried away. So I
totally forgot about this. Cleveland State had a back-to-back at Wright State earlier this year. They won at Wright State on a Friday night. On the Saturday, the next day, do you know what happened?
They got blown up.
They lost by 36.
That's crazy.
That's got to be the biggest swing ever. Yeah, you're right, Brian. Good teams win. Great. Let me try that again. Good teams win. Great teams cover. Jeffrey, you got anything else?
That's it. I'm playing it cool today. I'm not going crazy.
Hit us on BetSperts. Follow us there. That's where you get all the good stuff.
Right there, Robert.